All right, folks, welcome to the Hard Hat Conversations. I'm your host, Richard. I'm stationed here in beautiful Cleveland, Ohio. Today is Monday, July the 7th, 2025. I'd like to welcome everyone that's listening for the first time and the ones that's coming back again. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to my podcast. Like I said, this is Hard Hat Conversations. We try to tell the hard truths. We try to tell the hard facts. This is a podcast of talking about problems. Of course, we have to talk about problems and what? To solve problems. So hopefully we can come up with a few solutions. And like I said, like, subscribe, and comment if you hear something you like, something that you don't like, and something that you could add to the show to help the show grow. Because everybody has an opinion, folks. So let's do it. All right, folks, I like to go to my notes. The first thing I want to talk about, let's see what I wrote down here. I hope everybody had a good 4th of July if you celebrate the 4th of July. I know a lot of us stopped celebrating it because of past history of some of the cruelty the United States did to some people. And I understand that fact. But like I tell everybody, we have to heal and we have to move on. We don't forget about the past, but we learn from the past as well. But we don't want the past to keep us in quicksand where we don't grow and move on, because we do at the end of the day have to move on. So happy 4th of July, and let's see what I want to mention to you folks today on a beautiful Monday evening. Well, our president Donald Trump, whether you like him or not, he passed his BBB, the Big Beautiful Bill. And like I said before, and like I said, this is Hard Hat Conversations. We like to tell the hard truth. The rich people run the world. The people with the most money and power. They create jobs. They create everything. They in control. That's the facts. And the ones with lesser money, you know how we fit in where we can. We also make them rich as well. So let's keep that in perspective as we dissect certain things and try to understand certain things. That doesn't mean that the rich man don't have to be held accountable, but we still have to understand the dynamics of our world that we created as human beings, with the good and the bad. So he passed his big, beautiful bill, and I'm just going to read a couple of few things. This is a big bill, folks. So I advise you to go in and look at it, understand it a little bit, and see if anything in there benefits you. I'm just going to read a couple of things that can benefit me and you as well. That's a regular six-pack Joe like myself, a blue-collar worker. They have no tax on tips. I know you've been hearing that, because when they make bills, folks, like this, the rich, and I'm talking about Democrats and Republicans, all of them have money. They don't have to worry about light and gas bill. None of them, folks. None of them. Don't let them believe that they do. None of them do. So they threw this in for us. They gave us a little bone, folks, or whatever you want to call it. No tax on tips. I don't know the full details of that. Like I said before, I got to read some more of the bill. But that means, I guess, even if you put it on a credit card, they can't tax it. That's what I'm thinking it means. I've never been a waitress or waiter, so. And, of course, you can just give them cash, too. That's probably the better way if you ask me. No tax on overtime. I work a lot of overtime, folks. I know some of you work a lot of overtime. Some of you don't. That can benefit a lot of people if it's really what it say. Do they have a cap on it, folks, where you only can, it's just like, think about this, folks, real quick. You got one of them stupid reward cards. You spend money, and they give you 50 cents, a dollar, adds up and stuff. In reality, you have to spend like thousands of dollars just to get $100 or something like that. It's a mind game. You think you're getting something, but you'll spend thousands of dollars just to get an extra $100 or $200. So maybe you get an extra 1% or 2%. Whatever. Anyway, they threw that in for us. So hopefully the overtime is just overtime and we don't get taxed on it. I think we don't get taxed on the federal part. I don't know about the state or anything. Don't quote me. I'm not a legislator. Remember the Schoolhouse Rock with that one time? I'm just a bill. Yeah, I'm only a bill. I used to love them shows, Schoolhouse Rock. Some of you guys and girls that's older understand what I'm saying. So I think it's just probably on the federal part. I don't know if the city and the state can still get theirs, but remember, this is a federal bill, so who knows. Also on it, it said no tax on Social Security. They said 80, this is from the White House, folks. This is where I'm getting this from. You can Google it. It said 88% of Social Security people will have to pay no federal tax. Remember I said, just like with the overtime, it might be that. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it. But they said federal tax. They didn't say nothing about city or none of that. I don't know. I don't have Social Security yet. I don't know if they take the city and stuff out just like they do with a regular check. If any of you guys and girls know that, please comment and help me out. That said no federal tax on 88% of the Social Security people won't have to pay. So that'll bring a few more dollars into your pockets because, federal tax make up the majority of the taxes when they take it out of your paycheck. Let's see. Just like with more money you make, of course the rich going to get a good tax cut because they created the bill. They got to get a tax cut too. And remember, they got a lot of money, so their tax cuts are going to be bigger because they pay more. That's just the 101 money. The more you make, the more taxes. Every time you get a raise, it seems like they take the tax, they take it away from you. So the more money you make, the more taxes you pay. The less money, the less taxes. That's why they threw in this child, what's that? The child care credit or whatever they call it. They're giving you an extra $200 now. And that'll help the ones that that's in low income. So they throwing us a few tiny little bones, folks, but something is better than nothing, I think. It's not a perfect bill. Even their own party, the Republicans, didn't like everything about it. So there's a little bit of give and take. So, that's with any bill. I don't care what bill passes. They're always going to have some ups and downs, but the main thing is start giving something for the working poor, the so-called middle class that's disappearing. They need help because I tell you what, if you go in the I've been in the service in the Navy. You go to some of those third world countries. They don't have a welfare system, so they're out there. A lot of our people don't understand that we are living like kings. And that's why a lot of them in the poor countries like to come over here just to get on the welfare, just to survive. It's not to get Mercedes-Benz and stuff like that. It's just to eat. You want to eat, have fresh, clean water, and clothing and shelter. So a lot of them come over for that. So I wish our government, instead of giving them a lot of money for bombs and weapons and stuff, they would also use some of that money to help them implement some type of welfare system so they don't have to leave their country and come over here and put a burden on our pocketbooks as well. Because Lord knows we got a lot of people here that need some help, and some of them need some help in getting up and going to work too, because there's nothing wrong with them. And I think that's something in this bill too as well, folks, that if you're able-bodied, you at least can work 20 hours for that free money, free Section 8, free this and free that, if you're able. Like I said before, we're not talking about the really disabled that can't hardly get around, that can't do nothing for themselves. that's part of the beauty of America, that we will take care of our sick and elderly as the best we can. They're not going to be rich, but they're going to be able to have systems where they can survive and have some type of life. You know, that's all you get asked in this world. Okay, that's it for the big beautiful bill. If you want to hear more about it, I might bring it up later on down the line as I learn more, and then Google it too as well. All right, I'm going to take a 360 turn. Like I said, I'm Richard. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, stationed here. I got to come back to my hometown, Cleveland. I got to talk about it for a second. Here we go again, another year, same old thing. We had a thing called a street takeover over the holiday weekend. The dirt bikes, the cars, the youth. I guess they went nuts again over the weekend. I don't know if it's the legal weed that we can have now, or something in the Kool-Aid. But over 100 vehicles over there in the Lee. I think it was the Lee and Harvard area, if you're familiar with Cleveland, Ohio. It's a predominantly black neighborhood. Got to say it like it is. This is hard hat conversation. If I'm going to talk about if I'm going to tell the truth, hard truths, I got to tell it like it is. Like I said, we live in this world where we got to say black and white. I didn't make it up. I didn't make the rules. But in order for me to get my point across, sometimes I got to speak the truth, whether I like it or not. I don't like to sit up here and talk about, well, this black neighborhood is messed up and this and that. But sometimes you got to tell the truth, just like with the white neighborhoods. You got to say, come on, they messed up in this area or this area. So we have to tell the truth without getting angry in order to have solutions, folks, in order to heal, in order to find out how we can break these messed up cycles that we have, folks. That's the only way we can talk about it. It's going to hurt a little bit. You're going to get mad a little bit. That's okay. That's being human. But at the end of the day, come back to the table. Let's discuss this and try to fight and find a way to get around these things. So over here in the Lee and Harvard area, they did another one of those street takeovers, spinning around, tearing up stuff, shooting. I think somebody died over there, one or two, I'm not sure, a lot of shooting and stuff like that. And here we go with the city, and I'm not blaming one person, but I'm going to blame who's in charge of the force. You got the chief and the mayor. If they can't handle, if the crime is getting out of hand, why don't they ask the governor for the National Guard? I've been touting this. I don't care what color you are. If you're tearing up the neighborhood, we need to stop you. We have to stop you. It's getting out of hand, folks. Call in the National Guard. And if that don't work, call in the military. Do whatever. You see what the President Donald Trump, whether you like it or not, you see what he did. He called in the military. And guess what? Those riots stopped, didn't they? Because the military ain't going to care what color you are. They don't care if you're a man or woman or whatever you call yourself. Whatever, if you're doing something to disrupt society and the quality of life, they there to put an end to it. So you're not going to get no social workers out there. So when you protest, you better protest in peace and not throwing bottles and stuff and all that stuff. Because you wouldn't want to get hit with bottles and urine and feces and stuff like that. So if you're getting out of hand, black cities, I'm going to name another black city. Indianapolis did the same thing over the weekend. A lot of shootings. Detroit, a lot of shootings. You know, it's crazy. And it has to stop. And it's not going to stop until you change the culture. Like I said before in my other podcast, folks, I'm blacker than black. I lived in the hood. I know how it is. You have your good days and bad days. That's everywhere. But this rap music, man, it is off the chain, man. I'm sorry, or whatever you call it these days. This stuff talking about sexual stuff and all that. I'm not a nerd or nothing. I'm not against certain things, but man, this is violent rap. This is culture destroying rap. Our kids are learning, are wearing what they wear. They're actors. Parents, listen to me. Some of this rap music is terrible. I don't care if it's a black person making it or a black woman making it. They wrong, they wrong. And you need to stop dancing to it. Change. There's other good black music out there. We have to get away from this. It's destroying your family. I know, it ain't just rap. Rap music is half of it. Whether you like it or not. This is hard hat conversations. Talking about eating this, doing that, killing this, hurting that. It's nothing good they talk about. You can have nice beats and talk about good stuff. Why all of our culture in the black community got to be so much violence? Are we going to keep saying it's because of the white man and the white woman have done so much cruelty to us that our psyche is messed up? Okay, let's say that. Well, let's get a lot of help. Let's get some psychiatrists down in that neighborhood, a whole bunch of them. I don't want no politicians down there because they just want votes. Let's get some doctors. Let's get some treatment. And we don't have to all take drugs to get treated. Just somebody talking to somebody. Getting a parent in line. If you have to open up some more group homes where they can have decent folks in there that can teach them some manners and pay the folks well so they don't turn out to be messed up. Don't be like some of these raggedy nursing homes, some of them, where they pay the poor workers nothing and then they expect a care. They want special care, top notch. You only get top notch if you get paid top notch. That's the hard facts, folks. We all got family members in some of that situation. We understand this. This is nothing new, I'm saying. It's in my family. It's in everybody's family. It's not colorblind either, folks. This is abroad. But I'm focusing more on this black culture thing. They got a new name, folks, that is so bad now. It's getting so bad. They call it, I heard, black fatigue. Black fatigue, folks. That's how bad they are. When something get bad, you make up a name for it, you know. Think about it. Anything that started getting bad or good, you create a name for it. A brand, if you want to call it. Everybody can't be a rapper. Everybody can't be a basketball sports player. Somebody got to be a plumber. Somebody got to be a bus driver. Somebody got to do these other things as well. And if you are these people that make it as actors, sports figures, politicians, you have to set an example. I know a lot of them say, I'm just making a living. I struggle hard and all that. I had to fight and get. Everybody does. Everybody does, from the bottom to the top. That still does not give you an excuse to put out garbage. Stop putting out the garbage. Sing about good stuff. Make some good movies. It's nothing nerdy or boring about it. Just because you're a certain color, that don't mean you have to do that thing that a lot of the certain color groups do. If I'm Puerto Rican, I ain't got to do all Puerto Rican stuff. If I'm black, I ain't got to do all black stuff. If I'm white, I ain't got to do all white stuff. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. This is hard head conversations. We talking hard truths here. Do what you like. Quit letting people put you in a box as long as it's good. And it doesn't hurt your fellow man or woman. Come on, folks. We can do better. This stuff got to stop. Take those bikes, impound those bikes, sell it, and use the money to get some programs to help those folks, to get some psychiatric help. I wouldn't want my kid out there late at night. I'd be worried if something happened to him. Apparently, a lot of these kids that are having kids, let's be honest, kids are having kids. That's got to stop, which we don't want to talk about. What is that, taboo? We don't want to talk about that, but we could talk about Cardi B and what's the other one? What's that other happened over there in Chicago? What is that person name? Some new rapper where they did a shot up the place, her debut album. I can't keep up with these names, folks. I guess I'm old, but I can't even remember the name. It happened last week. That stuff got to stop, folks. And then I listened to some of the songs. I like, let me listen. Let me do the benefit of the doubt. Listen to some of the rap songs. It might be good music. Just a couple of clowns came into that crowd and just messed up a good party. I listened to that stuff she was singing. It was all sexual, crazy, nasty, dumb. It was so dumb I couldn't even understand it. Yeah, it was dumb. It's like children that don't know what they talking about. Like they're repeating cuss words over and over. You know how a kid hear their parents cuss, and then all of a sudden the kid will say a cuss word. That's how that rap sound. Dumb. It has nothing. No substance. The only thing it make you want to do is be violent. Drugging. Drinking. That's all it does. It gives you no quality of life. All it does is get you in trouble. It's a mind game, folks. They making millions, and they don't even live like that. They actors. All of them. They entertainers. Well, the definition of an entertainer is to entertain and make money by any means necessary. If it's being a fool, then they'll do it. If it's talking nasty rap, they'll do it. If it's singing or dancing, they'll do it. It's called money. And we're the only group that downgrade our kind. We're the only ones that talk about. We're in so much pain, folks, we just talk about each other. We beat up. We ready to hurt each other. Every day in these poor black neighborhoods, we ready to hurt each other. And nobody says nothing. But we'll jump and follow a black person that make a lot of money. They supposed to tell us how to live and all that. I don't care if they were white, blue, whatever. They ain't telling me how to live. They making all that money. They're not going through what I'm going through. But you can make your situation better, one step at a time. This culture got to change. This black fatigue is getting out of hand. Carnival Cruise. They made a way where people with low income can go on a cruise. That was a good thing. They had cheap rates and stuff. So people that living in the projects or low income, like cities like Indianapolis, Detroit, they can afford to take a family of four because they have budget prices. You can get on a nice cruise ship, see the ocean, and go to Jamaica and place like that because it don't cost as much. Now you're tearing that up. Well, that's going to cut that out. You're fighting on it. Google it. You're fighting. You looking on that phone every day. I know y'all see them videos. You're fighting. You're acting crazy. You're drunk. Kids around. Babies running around while y'all fighting and hurting each other. It's insane. Quit worrying about what every other group is doing. Take care of your house. Take care of your house. Got somebody out here calling it black fatigue. That's ridiculous, folks. All right, folks. This is Hard Hat Conversations. I'm your host, Richard. Thank you for listening. Hopefully I can be back on the air and bring some good information. Like I said, please hit that like button. And if you don't like something, say it. I don't mind. I tell people what I don't like all the time. I don't hate them. I'm not going to hurt them. But if I disagree, I disagree. Make a comment. Speak up. You ain't got to talk all the time. I know everybody can't get on here and just run their mouth. That's cool. But you got something to say. I don't care if you say it one time, that's enough. At least you said something. And try to talk to people in your own family. Don't worry about other people's families. Start at home. Start changing some stuff at home, folks. Quit worrying about Miss Johnston or the Griffins or the Dixons or the whatever last name you got. Quit worrying about that family. Start at home. Because we always worrying about somebody else's family while we know our family messed up. Let's start working together on our own. I tell you what, you'll see a difference. It used to be a difference. Families were together. We always got crime and stuff like that, folks. That's always going to be there. But not like it is now, folks. The youth are always going to do stupid stuff. I did stupid stuff when I was young. But not like today, folks. We had rap music back when I was young. But not like today, folks. Come on now. Talk to me. Google all this stuff. I'm not telling you nothing new. I'm just sharing you my life experience, and that's all. And I'm quite sure some of y'all experience the same thing. I'm not saying nothing new. This is nothing new, folks. We can do this, folks. We can stop this black culture thing. We can change. This is Hard Hat Conversation. Hope y'all have a good evening. Thank you for listening. See ya.